Okay, here is that long awaited for video about how to do the graphs for your semester long project. Um, Before I jump into that, just want to say, hopefully you guys are getting it done. You're almost finished with it. This is, well, when I'm recording this, it's the very end of week 15. When you view it, it's the beginning of week 16. So you should have had the last of your information. You need to make sure everything is done. That is why I am covering the graphs now. Should I have done it earlier? Maybe, but graphs are super easy to make. Hopefully you've already been analyzing your data. I will be posting a grading rubric, and well, I should say I have posted, because by the time you can view this video, it will already be posted. So make sure to look. I will make there will be an announcement about it with a hyperlink. It will also be in with all of the semester long project information in that area. There will be a grading rubric telling you exactly how many points for each thing. This is just a reminder. Make sure to get this done. Make sure to get it turned in. If you are anxious about grades, then you want to turn it in sooner rather than later. I will be doing my best throughout the week to grade as they come in. You only get one shot to turn it in, so you better make sure it's all together. When you turn it in, it is one paper. It is one document. That is it. Just one. You cannot post a hyperlink to something. It has to be the actual attached document. It has to be either a Word document, which will end with it will end with .doc or .docx. Cannot be anything else, with the exception of, if you get it saved as a PDF, I will accept PDF. That means the only extension for what you are attaching will be .doc, .docx, or .pdf. Those are the only formats allowed. If you're wondering, well, then how do I show you all of my data? Well, I'm going to show you some of that today. But first, let's look at graphs. So I have prepared some stuff for this. I am doing that whole share the desktop, so you're going to see a lot of crap. So here we go. I prepared this. These are the world's numbers. So it's not the US, it's not any particular state. This is the entire planet. I picked, what is that, Tuesday? I think January 10th was a Tuesday. Yes, I'm looking. Nope, it was a Monday. So I picked Monday as my day. So this is week 1 right here, all the way to week 15. These are my raw dates. This is the entire number of cases. Notice the number of cases consistently go up because they don't just miraculously heal. Now, here's a side note on that. Some states, at some point, all of a sudden their numbers changed. It was the weirdest thing. I wish I could remember which state. One of the states, all of a sudden, like 1,000 people came back to life or something. I don't know what happened, but their numbers straight up changed. For the one state, you are going to have a dip. That's why. Now, I'm showing you the world. So I have all the numbers for how many cases, positive cases of COVID. Then down here, I have the rate of change. When I put ROC, that means rate of change. I do a capital R, little o, capital C. That's what I do. Now, there is no rate of change here because you don't have that number. So your rate of change should have started week 2. So I guess I'm just going to do this so you know, week 2. Okay. Now, this to me is the easiest way to do this graph. Go ahead and click here, and I am clicking and holding, and I am selecting all of that. Notice I have selected the dates and the numbers. Now, the next thing I do is I go to insert. And then if you see, trying to move this, sorry, you see this little one right here. I click here. I pick this one with the dots because I like having the data points. It helps me. That is my preference. If you want to do it without the dots, feel free. I do the one with the dots. Some of you are going to decide, oh, I'm going to do a pie chart or I'm going to do a bar graph. It's not appropriate for this kind of information. Not appropriate at all. You need to do a line graph. So here we go. Look, here all of a sudden is a graph. This is selected your dates and your numbers, your rate of change. This looks really weird. Why does it look really weird? Well, look at this, your dates. We are not going all the way to January. It did something crazy. I don't know why Excel does this. It didn't used to do this. It used to use literally only what I had. So if you highlight this, so like you're out here somewhere, click on your graph, click on the x-axis, and then I right click and it shows this. Then go to Format Axis, Axis, Axis. There you go, Format Axis. Notice this is weird. I'm not doing months, I'm doing days. So first thing I do is I fix days. Then I change it to 7 days because I am doing weekly. Why they don't have a choice for weekly, I don't know. They have days, months, years, I believe. I want it weekly, so I have to change it to 7 days. I do that, and then I fix this to the date I want, which would be April 11th, 22. I say April 11th because that's my last date. If you have the 15th as your last date, clearly you would hit April 15th. Then enter. Look at that, fixed it right there. That's all you have to do. So this is information. This is my nice, pretty graph. If I want it to be bigger so I can see it better, there you go. So this is the rate of change of cases in the world. So this is showing me from February 7th, it declined worldwide until here, the 20th of February. Then it stayed steady. Then it spiked a little bit, and now it's coming back down. So this shows an overall decline in worldwide cases. You will find different rates for different things. Some states are like this, some states are this, some are steady, some are steady. You are going to do this kind of graph for the rate of change for all of your states, including the US, the whole country, and for the rate of change of deaths. Notice I keep specifying the rate of change. That's what you have to do. Now, to recap how to do this, yes, I just deleted the whole graph, So to recap, I am going to click and drag. So I'm holding down the button so I can have all of this highlighted. I then go to Insert, and I pick the line graph. I pick the one with data points. Looks weird. I then, myself, I always start off with this, don't know why, I just do. So world rate of change. Then you click here, and I'm just noticing there's something on the side. I don't know if that will actually give me the chance to do it on its own. Let's see. Nope, it's not already there. So click, right click, Format Axis, and then change this to 7 days. I'm curious. Yeah, that doesn't have an option. And then I fix this for April 11th, 22. Bam, fixes the problem. Anything else you want to do is just yours. If you want to get rid of the grid lines, you can edit them out, or notice I clicked directly on the line and I can just go boop, and then there's no lines. Some people prefer no lines, proper scientific way. You're not supposed to have lines. Me personally, I don't care. Entirely up to you. If you want this to be changed, you can. Same thing. You click on the numbers, you right click, Format Axis. And so say you don't want it to go so high. Let's stop it at 20 million. So let's change this to a 2 as our maximum, and then enter. Now we've changed it. You can change it to whatever the heck you want. I prefer to keep my minimum 0, but that's my own preference. It's entirely up to you. I like to keep them about as, I just went back to the original. I like to keep them about as normal as possible because it makes it easier to really see. But if you want to fill your whole graph, you can do that. And then notice this is, our lowest number is below 10 million. So we don't want to go below 10 million. So let's do it as, I don't know. Let's see, what is the lowest we can do? Yeah, I'm just staring because I'm like, how do I write 1 million or 6 million? Because do we have anything lower? We don't have anything lower than 6 million. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now I have made it like that. So rate of change, it still shows you the exact same thing, all up to how you want to look at it. All of this is just your own personal preference. You can easily just do this and it shows everything, or like I said, you can again make it where I'm going to do 5 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or you can make it like that. So 100% up to you. But that's how you make the graph. Not that hard. Now, here is how you get your information into things. You will need to have a Word document open. So Word, there we go. Don't need you. That's other stuff I was working on. So let's do a new document. And then let's say this is where I have written a bunch of stuff. Now, graphs. Okay, so now let's say I need to put in my graph. I click here. Notice the entire thing is highlighted and you copy it. I normally use hotkeys, but I'm going to go ahead and go here. Go to Edit, Copy. Then go back to your Word document. I have stuff in my way and I'm like, there we go. Go back to your Word document and then Edit, Paste. There's your graph. This is how you put your graph in. Now, once you have a graph in there, you have to label it. So underneath here, I just simply do something like graph 1, rate of change in positive COVID-19 cases worldwide. I mean, you can word it however, but you do this underneath it. Oh, look at that. I guess that should be one word. Yeah, there you go. One word. Okay. This, you have to label it. You have to tell me what it is. This is not for opinions. This is just straight up a fact. It is a statement. It is just telling me what the graph is. You're not trying to say, as you can see, that doesn't belong here. This is just the title of the graph. So you can do this with any graph you need to, and you do that for all of them. Now, for the data, blah, 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 you've stated some stuff, and then according to my semester long data, and you can scientifically, it should be the semester long data. If you say I'm not going to yell at you for it. It's okay. It's not APA format. It is not proper academic writing. but I want to see that you have been able to put everything together properly and that you have shown me critical thinking skills. You have analyzed it. You have really put thought into it. So I am more worried about content than particulars. So anyway, so blah, 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 according to semester long data. Appendix. And then blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I said that about appendix because that's technically where you would put your data. So finish typing entire paper. Yes, I know, I forgot the I in finish. There, finish. Okay. Then we have, you must have your reference page. And yes, I always misspell reference. Okay, you must have your reference page. So now I would do insert, page break, and then this is where I would put my references. So references, I told you I misspell it every single time. References, this is going to need to be centered, blah, blah, blah. So, well, this is the part that is centered. So there we go. So this is where you put all your citations. I have a whole other way that I can teach you to do this, but there you go. So now just say I've put in all my references. Then I am going to say this, and then blah, 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 center, and then appendix. There we go. Now, appendix. Appendix is where you put your data. What do you do for your data? Well, here we go. Same kind of thing. I am going to highlight and select. Oops, I was about to do the hotkey. Copy. And then paste. This looks weird. This is wrong. Don't do that. Notice the little bitty clipboard here. If I click it, then I'm going to say, I mean, there's different ways to do it. Let's see what happens if it says paste as picture. There we go. Paste as picture. Makes a nice, perfect little table. That's all you have to do. But underneath it, then this, again, you would put something, you know, like table 1. World numbers, because I have the numbers, the cases, and I have the whatchamacallits, the rate of change. Now, technically, I would not want that to be so big, and I would actually make this a little smaller to match my stuff just because it's more visually pleasing. But that's what you're going to do. You have to put all of your data looking like a table in the appendix. That's it. So you are not attaching an Excel sheet. You're just doing this. So that's how you put your graph in. That is how you put your data in. And I'm pretty sure that's all you really have left that you need to do. I have done videos throughout the term trying to show you how to analyze data. If you have not watched them, can't help you there. You are supposed to look at the trends in your data for each of the states and the US. If you saw a spike in cases, take a look at that. Look back about 2 weeks, see if there was something that happened 2 weeks before. Remember, say, I have to look at a calendar at the same time as this. So say, okay, say that I supplied you with your week 1 numbers, which, by the way, if you still haven't contacted me for your week 1 numbers and you don't have them, you have very little time left to get those. So I would recommend it. So say that I gave you your week 1 numbers for January 11th. That's a very loud vehicle. You decided you're collecting numbers on the 18th, on Tuesdays. And so that's why I gave you the 11th. You look at the number of cases on the 11th, and then when you look at the number of cases on the 18th, it is substantially higher than you anticipated. What might have happened? Well, January 1st was New Year's Eve. A lot of people had parties. So around January 15th, that is 2 weeks after New Year's Eve, probably had more cases showing up. Since you're not collecting it on the 15th, the 18th would be when you see that number jump. Then it might be high for a little bit and then it might start to dip. But then February 1st, you're seeing lower number of cases, but you're seeing a spike in the number of deaths. That is because February 1st is 2 weeks after your spike in cases. The number of cases tend to be, I'm trying to figure out how to word this right. You will have an event, and then about 2 weeks later, you will see a spike in positive cases. Most of the time, people don't die immediately. They kind of get very sick and linger, and then they die. And so you will normally see a spike in deaths about 2 weeks after the spike in cases, and then it goes down. So you're supposed to be analyzing the data for both. Every time you see a spike, why is there a spike? If you see an area that at the beginning of this term seemed to always be going like this, but now all of a sudden they're like that, why? See if there's anything. Example, if you're doing the Northeast is having a big surge of BA2, the Omicron offshoot. That is now 72% of all cases. Different states have removed mask mandates entirely. Take a look. When you see a sudden spike in cases, take a look at when the masks came off officially. See if the spike in cases is about 2 weeks after that kind of thing. Think it through. I had a chemistry teacher who used to say, think like a chemist. And I thought it was crazy and it used to drive me nuts, but I swear that's pretty much what you do here. You have to think like a scientist. Analyze the data. Can you have your own personal opinions? Yes, 100% yes. But your opinions don't matter when you're looking at data. Data is data, facts are facts. You have to show me you are thinking clearly. You have to show me that you looked at the numbers, you thought about it, you researched it, this is what you found, and so this is your conclusion for the data. If later you want to simply say that the facts show blah, 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 but I don't care, I still want to believe blah, 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 you are more than welcome to do that, but I request you tell me why you're selecting that. Because this one is just my own curiosity. I have never understood learning something as a fact and then deciding I don't care if that's the truth. I want to lie to myself, basically, because that's pretty much what that is. If something's been proven and you decide you don't want to pay attention, I just don't understand. So please explain it to me. And again, I'm not being mean, rude. I am not being, I don't know, I can't think of the words. I just really want to know, like seriously want to know. Your grade depends on you properly analyzing, you actually putting thought, you showing me you 100% analyze the data and thought critically, and this is the conclusion. After you finish all the scientific aspects and you've proven to me that you've done your job, what you say after that about your own opinions, totally on you, does not affect your grade as long as you are actually, you know, writing it properly, proper sentence structure, proper grammar, that kind of thing. I want your opinion at the very end. 100% I want your opinion. I just want you to tell me why it's your opinion. But you first have to tell me the actual facts and what you have learned. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So I am not making a video about the grading rubric. I will simply post the grading rubric. So make sure you look at it. Make sure you read the announcements. If you watch this video and you have questions, feel free to ask. The week is going to end faster than you anticipate. So I'm hoping you actually did utilize some of the time throughout the term to get your paper worked on. If you have questions, message me. Fastest is to either email me or send me a text. Messages through Brightspace, I don't get them as fast. That is just when I log into Brightspace. And sometimes I do it multiple times in a day. Sometimes it's once a day. Sometimes I might miss a day. That's why sometimes you find yourself having to wait for an answer. If you need an answer quickly, seriously, email me or send me a text and I will respond way faster. I will try to be on top of it as much as possible, considering you have to get this done. But remember, I also have other stuff I have to do. So sometimes it might take me a moment. I think that's it. If you have questions, ask. Just do your best to actually think critically. Yeah, so I guess that's it. So peace.